So, after we've been tackling the log flume in the last episode, and finally also changed the layout according to your liking, this episode will be something completely different, which was due to the fact that there was an awesome idea in the stream, and so I just, managed to let myself go and go with the flow, and you're gonna see in today's episode something cool about the wooden coaster. So now enjoy this next episode. Okay, great. So here we are in the next episode. Also, I hope that the sound is better this time. I really hope that this works out well, because I don't know why exactly I had these sound issues again last time. It seems that always when I'm changing my master file in Premiere that I'm really having some issues uploading the file, because it always is. The file is super good for me, myself, when it's rendered, but it seems that YouTube always fucks up the audio levels. And I've heard recently that YouTube actually does proceed both files in a single way, so that it does proceed the video on the one hand side, so the image itself, and then also the sound on the other hand side. And I just went back to my old file where the sound was okay, and I kind of tried to use these levels, which is super weird because there's always, the music is so super low, you can barely hear that in my files, and later on YouTube my sound is just like normal, I guess, which is weird. Anyways, you've been also asking for me, or you've been asking that I should talk more about what I'm doing, and I think in today's episode it's really important to talk about that, because you can already tell we are tackling one side of the wooden coaster and we're building some kind of little canopy, if you will. But that's just only the beginning. In this episode we are going to make somewhat of some old relicts of the botanical garden. So this is kind of a sound barrier, which could have also been a little bit of a only wooden stand, which kind of was just to guide people through. You've also seen at the very beginning of the episode that I put down, how's it called again? The natural path. We are going to theme that whole area later on so that you can't see these ugly wooden pillars sticking out of the bottom. It will be a super nice little area right in front of the actually log flume area. So it's right across the road that guides you through the log flume. And I found this to be very interesting because the old botanical garden, as it was supposed to be, is definitely just not that great of a footprint, but it's also not that small. So the idea is that not all of the botanical garden is where the wooden coaster is located right now. It's definitely been bigger back then, but once they have taken this park, obviously a lot of this park has been abandoned already, and so they decided to put a wooden coaster on top of it. But I still wanted to make sure that you kind of have the idea, or that basically in your head there is still the possibility to rethink of what might have been a garden. So this is also why I put the natural path down and these wooden canopy things over here. I mean, yes, first of all, this is super cool because it makes up for some near miss elements in a coaster, which these old wooden coasters always work with, because obviously the wooden supports also always work as near miss elements themselves, which makes the perception of speed even better than on other coasters. By the way, if you're more interested into this kind of topic, you might want to check out today's episode of Stalewa as well, which is, I don't know if it's uploading before or after Napali, but it's just within an hour. So if it's uploaded already, make sure to check it out. If not, just wait until after the episode and it will drop within the next hour. Totally true there. For those of you who don't know about that project, it's completely different in terms of style from Eastern Napali. It's about a old abandoned Russian Soviet factory styled Gerstlauer launch coaster, which Sylph has built, and it's together with Silvrat and Operateur. He is just crazy in terms of details, just mentioning, by the way. Anyways, let's skip back to what I'm doing. Just as promised a few minutes ago, we are now going to hide away the little bits and pieces of the natural path. As you can see, I'm making also a little bit of a fake path to the left here, which guides through this area, which might have been one of the pathways guiding you through the old botanical garden, and it still is there as kind of, entrance to the backstage area of the coaster. We definitely have to put a sign there later on, also a little bit of a gate, but I feel like this is, something that could work. Well, yeah, so again, the idea of this episode, I started off doing this episode with some more ideas in mind to the log flume, but then all of a sudden in the chat, Joel, who's one of the best people in the whole community of Planet Coaster, he's an awesome moderator of the forums. He's always super kind. He always organizes all the stuff, and just a general shout out to this awesome person. And he was with us in Cambridge when we've been invited to the Frontier office 2 weeks ago. And he took some awesome photos from the Botanical Garden of Cambridge, actually. And since we were checking out some Instagram pages and stuff, just being a bit more random on stream, which is always super fun. So if you want to join at one day, I'd be highly recommending this, because we tend to have a lot of fun recently, which is super awesome. But yeah, I've been inspired by his Instagram profile and of these pictures from the Botanical Garden of Cambridge. And I decided to go into what has been the Botanical Garden once, and I wanted to incorporate a bit more of nature stuff. So I tried some things I haven't done yet, and this is, for example, one of the elements. This is a tree, which I made some custom roots, if you will. Not a custom roof this time, it's custom roots, and I even have hidden in there some curbs so that people don't walk into them. I just felt like if we put these big trees here in the middle of the pathway, they definitely need to have roots. Sorry, that was me yawning. I hope you didn't catch it. I don't know. I was also yawning yesterday that much in stream. I'm sorry for that, but it's at the moment I'm just so sleepy. I don't know. It might be the weather. I have no clue. But actually, I'm not that tired, so it's a bit weird. Anyhow, I could have cut this out, but no. Just random. Being honest, I guess this is what I said when I was changing my whole stuff here. I'm doing honest stuff, so I'm not gonna cut that out. However, now we are building some fence area here that kind of divides the open plaza from what has been a part of the Botanical Garden. I just wanted to have this to make sure that there is a separation going on here, because everything you will see then past this fence will be part of the old Botanical Garden, and I thought it would need a clear separation from this area. And then we are going into the very nice bit of this episode, what you have definitely seen from the thumbnail of today's episode. And this is a greenhouse, somewhat of a greenhouse, glass house, if you will. And I'm spoiling this here already, but you've seen that on the thumbnail anyway, so why not talk about that already to make myself enough space and time to talk about this, because I feel like this was something I never had in my mind, to be honest, for the Botanical Garden. I just wanted to make, what's going on with my joining? Okay, that was like full in your face, which I'm very sorry about. But I decided to go for this space over here because the first big challenge here was to fit in the glass house in a position that somewhat makes sense, because when you build the coaster here, you wouldn't necessarily go for these areas where there is a glass house to put the biggest structure or the biggest support structure of your coaster, because it definitely needs some new footers and great other stuff that makes the whole thing stable, and this is why I decided to try to squeeze that in here and also incorporate a foundation, which might have been the old foundation as well. So yeah, that was basically the idea. But nevertheless, this glass house or greenhouse, it gave me such a good struggle in terms of using pieces, because it had to be very I don't even know how to put that in words. It had to be very small in terms of the iron bars we are using, and very thin roofs and thin stuff to make it really look like a proper small greenhouse. And I was thinking a lot about what kind of flowers could have been grown in here, and I think potentially this would have not necessarily been a greenhouse to make plants grow that wouldn't grow on this island otherwise. I think it would be more like to grow more of the same flowers, but just a little bit quicker, because this is also what greenhouses are used for sometimes, to just kind of simulate the perfect conditions for these flowers and also vegetables and stuff that you necessarily wouldn't have each and every day, even not on Hawaii. So this could have been the idea why they put this here. So this could have been even some kind of greenhouse that helped the local people to make the botanical garden grow even faster. So I think that's the only logical explanation why you would have a greenhouse here on Hawaii itself. I mean, otherwise they have the climate conditions to build or to kind of make this whole area appear better and make it more appealing to the people. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah, as you can see, it was a huge struggle to find the right pieces. I did a combination in the end of some TMTK pieces that come with a way smaller footprint, and they are way thinner than what we usually have. And then I needed to get a little bit creative, because at the end I couldn't find anything that made the proper structure for the top part of the building. So I was trying some of the new Ghostbusters pieces, but they also appeared to be too big, which is, again, that's what she said, but that's what I say is Planko pieces are still too big. So, and I found a solution by using these, what kind of pieces are these? They're definitely from the Studios DLC. I think they're kind of iron scaffoldings for like audio systems or like lights in studios or so. I guess that's what they are, but however, they just did what they are supposed to be doing, and I'm happy with it, and in the end it kind of looked good though. Wow, and now I just lost my Stay Puft here again. I don't know, for those of you who are watching my stream, you know that I have my Stay Puft on my microphone sitting the whole time and looking into the camera of the stream, and it's kind of, there is this little challenge that it has to stay there the whole stream. And once I hit the microphone, which I usually do each and every time I'm recording, I'm doing streams, I'm doing anything, even if I don't have my microphone with me, I'm still hitting it. That's how much I'm hitting it. But no, and normally I take him away from there as soon as we finish streaming, not because I don't want him there, but just because it has its original place in my room here, and so that's why. But last time I forgot, and so I just didn't move my microphone, and I was recording, or I am recording this voiceover right a day later, but I haven't been on the computer before, and I just didn't notice that the Stay Puft was still sitting on the microphone, and it just kind of fell down and made me hit the microphone even harder than always, and it was so loud and oversteering so much that I needed to cut that out. However, so now we are going to build something which I'm fairly happy with how this turned out, because at the beginning it seems to be very repetitive over here. As you can see, I'm building kind of a staircase out of stones, and I used the same rotation just for the sake of making sure that I can make the basic structure first, and then I went in and re-rotated. Is that even a word? Re-rotated? Reoriented? I just changed the orientation of some pieces again to make it look a bit more natural, and then I obviously used a lot of different boulders and single stones to make it all look a bit more finished and nice, and these kind of touches that always help to make it all appear better in the end. But now we come to the very final part, which is making the greenhouse look a bit more abandoned, and man, am I happy with how that turned out. I think we just found the right sweet spot in making it look overgrown, but not yet too overgrown, because clearly it has been revamped a little bit for being a coaster element, but still having this little planter here fallen down, lying on the floor, and some of the greenery growing on these iron bars here and there. And I think it's just very nice because it gives this little touch that there hasn't been changed too much. I'm always like thinking about what has been done once the coaster has been put here. So clearly, yes, this glass house or greenhouse has been rebuilt again from what has been there, but maybe it was originally the location and they just opened it for building the coaster through it and then just closed it again. And this is also why we have some more modern scaffoldings on top of it, but the rest kind of stayed like 80% the same. But yeah, since people in chat were requesting to make the coaster a little bit higher, I did so because obviously we don't want our guests to chop their hands off when they're enjoying the rides and having their hands up high the whole ride, which I tend to do in real life, by the way, because it gives you even more airtime and stuff, so it's pretty awesome. You should do that on Taron, 2 rides after each other. That's gonna be crazy. That's really crazy. And it's really, actually, you need to be a bit of, you need to have a little bit of confidence to do that, because it's really cool though, it's really cool, but it gives you a struggle. But yeah, now we're approaching the end of today's episode. I'm just doing some more greenery here and there just to make sure that this looks nice, and I think that's all about I can say about this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did enjoy this, even though a little bit of yawning going on. But yeah, I enjoyed the stream. I enjoyed building even further here in Isla Pali, and I just like that we just jumped forth and back between different areas. Now you get a few more screenshots. I will shut up in a few seconds, but if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button. Also, share the love. If you want to share this video to other people, make sure to bring them into Isla Pali. We need more company crew members. That'd be awesome. But now, enjoy the rest of your day and see you next time, guys. Bye.
We should be hiding out wherever we may find love that's flowing.